Okay, everybody, let's get started on this. Welcome back to another 2 p.m. PST YouTube stream. I'm your host, Strangebird Jim, and today, as you can see, we are getting ourselves back into Pega. So yesterday, I came on back. I explained a couple of things that happened with the emails and why I've been away. Um, Again, apologies to anybody that was like going, Jim, where have you been? So, hopefully you will forgive me on that. Uh, it's been a long road there, folks, and I mean we're getting close to the end, and uh, I often find myself struggling um, with long roads like this sometimes. I don't know what's with my mind sometimes, but I always feel like I always like trip like right before the finish line. It always feels like I can't necessarily finish the race per se, and unless someone is like there to kind of help me sometimes. Uh, at least it feels that way on occasion. I'm not quite sure exactly um, if it's something along the lines of like um, maybe I'm just kind of afraid of the end result kind of thing, like uh, getting to that last stage and just outright failing kind of thing, or maybe finishing it off and don't know what's afterwards. But I mean, there's plenty for me to do afterwards, so it's not so much a problem with that in this particular case. Um, it's just um, I guess the finality and the final result. Um, it's like reading a book series, for example, and you don't necessarily want it to end, but you get to that last book, you finish it off, and it's done. There's nothing left after that. Um, so I guess in your mind you think, or I guess in my mind it's kind of like along the lines of I don't necessarily want to get to the end um, because I want to, I guess maybe think of all the possibilities that could still happen. I guess I don't know. It's weird. Um, I'll grant you that. um, but I mean, we have a goal. We need to get there. Okay. Now, let me explain who I am and what these videos are for and what you should expect out of them. Okay. So first off, I'm a currently out of work software developer, unemployed, obviously, um, whose last job they tried to teach me with an authorized training partner on Pega, but it really was not that great of a teacher. Um, Basically, you know, all of the students in his class was basically doing self-study by the end of his class because, yeah, it wasn't great. Um, and even his coworkers knew how bad it got, but nothing really happened. And they pushed me into a job, and that was it. Um, I'd hoped that they would have put me back into training so that I could actually get someone that actually could answer our questions and I could feel like I'm learning from that particular individual better. So that when I did actually take the certification, I would feel confident enough to be able to answer the questions on it. Um, but they pushed me into the certification before I was ready, and um, the questions, I was expecting 8.6 questions, and I was seeing Pega 7 questions in certification. So that itself was, you know, threw me for a loop. Um, so yeah, it wasn't great, but um, this is my attempt to try to get the certification myself. I'm working towards getting the system architect certification. Maybe I'll try to go for the business architect as well, but I have no interest in being a business architect. Um, I don't I don't want to be there. um, I want to actually be one that handles, coding and developing and so on and so forth. I like that. Um, I like the creativity of coding. So um, it gives me a lot. It gives me a creative outlet, and um, the um, uh, I feel that business architect would not really um, help along those lines. So, um, but I make these videos in the hopes that, if someone that is like in the Pega Academy, or is a professional, a veteran, senior, so on and so forth, and they see one of my questions that, believe me, I have, that they would be able to kind of go through it and go, okay, what you're kind of missing about this particular topic is that you need to think about it in this fashion. Um, that's what I would love. So, I mean, if you are a professional, if you're a veteran in Pega and you're watching these videos, please go back through my videos and, help me out with some of the questions that I have. Not only would you be helping me out, but you'd probably be helping out someone else that's trying to go through the exact same lessons later. Um, um, that being said, you know, uh, I've you know I've heard from others that they've been enjoying the series. Um, they've been appreciating the series. So, um, you know, if you are one of those individuals, then please feel free to, put your own comments, questions, and whatnot on these videos, and maybe we can all benefit out of, you know, out of these questions, out of these answers, and so on and so forth. So, don't feel like you are alone in this. We all need to kind of work together to meet our goal, right? My goal in question is that system architect certification. That's my goal. If your goal is business architect, or um, maybe it's the senior system architect, whatever your goal might be, um, you know, keep on, you know, obviously don't stop. Okay, set that goal and keep on putting one foot in front of the next to get there. Okay. Um, you might trip and fall, but get yourself right back up and continue walking. Okay. Um, believe me, it's. I know it's rough sometimes, especially um, especially in today's world. Um, but you know, uh, if you want that goal, keep on walking towards it. So, um, That being said, I'm not an authorized training partner, and this is not an instructor-led training. Okay, I'm not an expert in Pega, so don't expect me to be able to answer all your questions. If I can't answer your question, then I will do my best to try to find someone that can answer your question. Okay, whether it's going to be talking to Pega Academy directly or talking to some of the professionals that I met at my last job. So, if you want to take the instructor-led training, then I find that it's a fairly expensive endeavor um, to pay for it. But that's me. Okay. Some of you might have that kind of cash ready and waiting because, bear in mind, okay, if you get a really good instructor to teach you about Pega and they will help you 100% learning Pega, answering your questions, and you learn everything that there is to learn about Pega. And these are individuals from Pega Academy, bear in mind, or at least I believe that they are. Um, then hopefully you get to do the certification and pass with flying colors. Hopefully. Um, but do yourself a favor and ask as many questions as you can during the instructor-led training. Okay, get your money's worth out of it because believe me, um, it's not going to be a very long training, and it's going to be very intense. Um, you only have a certain number of, I think it's like 2 weeks time total, and that's it to learn everything that there is to learn about Pega. So it is not a long course. Okay, so um, so do what you can to get the best results for the certification. Now, um, one thing, and the last remaining thing that I will mention is Business Architect. I've completed the 2 missions and 2 modules for the mission here. Okay, so if you are aiming for the Business Architect and you're wondering, okay, where do we stand on the Business Architect's mission? It's done. There's nothing left there. Okay, these 2 modules here do cover over the Pega Express delivery, and I do recommend that you um, go through the Pega Express delivery mission because 13% of the Business Architect certification is all about the Pega Express delivery. So learn as much as you can from it. So, but we're going to continue with the System Architect. Um, we went through the questions, um, or we had some of my suggestions come back. So I addressed those. Haven't had anything more, but that's okay. I mean, they're busy over there, so no worries on that. Now, we're going to be going on to the next module here of decision tables and trees. So this is going to be a fairly long one, 10 minutes. Definitely not 10 minutes. And we will, 10 minutes for a speed reader maybe. Um, but comprehension, you know, uh, you really need to make sure that you are very much aware and understanding of what is being presented in these topics. Um, so they're going to be fairly heavy in what they have, especially now that we're getting more into the Dev Studio and the System Architect side of things. Rules, decision logic, so on and so forth. So, okay, let's get into it, shall we? So, decision tables in Dev Studio. So, a decision table uses a set of conditions to test property values and return an appropriate response. In App Studio, you can use a decision table to calculate the value of a field. In Dev Studio, with additional capabilities of decision tables, you can delegate responsibility for maintaining decision logic, expand the result options, and direct flow processing. when you create a decision table to calculate the value of a field in App Studio, the decision table rule is created in the work class in Dev Studio. So, now, yesterday we were kind of talking about how um, I was talking about how the one note was talking about, how um, the App Studio um, um, it sounded like the App Studio would create a rule, and the Dev Studio would also kind of create a rule as well, or at least that was kind of my interpretation of the note. I'm not getting that from this one. Um, um, so when you create a decision table to calculate the value of a field in App Studio, a decision table rule is created in the work class in Dev Studio. Um, for some reason, it feels like this one here has a little bit more of like a connection to this here, you know, which is really interesting, how the English language works, right? You know, just a simple word or two can really kind of change how one can like interpret a sentence. So, um, now I'm not necessarily saying that, the um, um, that this is, perfect, and then, um, that it is indeed, staying that way, but that's just my interpretation here. So, okay, Steam Elements, why are you popping up twice all of a sudden? That's a little weird. Am I kind of struggling in terms of internet speeds here, there, folks? Am I being very laggy? I hope not. Um, Hold on. Let me check real quick. Um, I want to see if um, hmm. Okay. No, I guess it's still kind of considering it kind of connected right at this moment in time. I was afraid that, the uh, because I see stream elements popping up twice, that it might have like cut out, you know, my connection, but it looks fine. Okay. Um. Okay. So, decision logic maintenance. Organizations can delegate the maintenance of certain rules to stakeholders who delegate the maintenance of certain rules to stakeholders who manage a specific process within a case lifecycle. Okay. Why? These stakeholders, sometimes referred to as process owners, understand the business environment and can quickly identify changes that might impact how users achieve the desired outcome for a case. Okay. In Dev Studio, you can delegate a decision table to a process owner who can update the decision logic to meet the changing needs. This approach is most helpful for small changes. I would hope so, because um, if you're giving like if you're giving someone access to, you know, a, if then list, right? And they don't understand how that process gets handled, um, that's the third time Stream Elements popped up. What the fuck is going on with Stream Elements? Um, the it's um, sorry, I'm getting a little sidetracked by Stream Elements there. Okay, let's kind of small changes are fine. Like, say someone changed like a $500 money amount to like 400, or they changed to 400 to 500 or something like that. Like they needed to raise up the price for a particular item or something like that. That's fine. That's perfectly fine. That's understandable. But if you give someone access to the decision table and they start sitting saying, hey, I'm going to add in some more if then statements within the decision table, then the logic could get completely messed up. Okay, you could be, they could go in and go, hey, I'm going to change this. Um, I'm going to add in some more if statements that completely invalidate everything else afterwards. Um, like they might put in a statement that will always be true, so it'll never reach the end of the rest of the decision table. Okay, so you really have to be careful with giving non-programmers access to programmable content. Okay, um, I've stated it once before. I had that in this one job where, um, I went in, I did, when I was doing work for, a client of the company that I was working for, I saw that their login process was completely screwed up. People could log into their system without it checking the database to see whether or not those values are indeed correct. Anybody was able to access their system. Anybody, you know. If some random hacker came in to that login page, they could have put in any kind of email address or password the um, into the login field, and they could have entered into that particular person, particular company's um, uh, login information. They had, um, they were like a service to other like clients kind of thing. So they gave their clients like username and passwords to get like extra benefits or whatever, whatever. Um, but that's the thing though, is that it's like you're basically allowing people to kind of get into your login here, um, and no one had caught it before at all. I look at the login screen, I'm like going, wait, what? They're saying if the password is right, log in. If the password is wrong, log in. It's like, wait, what? you know. So, whoever was working on that project prior didn't do a good job in their programming. Now, um, I don't know who it was. Okay, I don't know. You know, um, but um, the fact that um, that was done by another programmer is really scary. Now imagine that happening, you know, without a programmer. you know, that could, if a programmer made that mistake, then imagine what would happen for a non-programmer. Someone that doesn't know logic or how to actually write the code, or what to make sure, how to structure an if-else statement to work properly. You know, they might say like, oh yeah, this if statement, needs to, give it off this results you know, if this is true, else, we'll do this. But what happens if that if statement will always be true? You know, like, hey, um, if your total amount is 0 or higher, it's like, well, your total will always be 0. So why are you including 0 in the in this, kind of thing? If total is 0 or higher, then uh, process their credit card or something like that. It's like, but the total will always be 0, so you're running the credit card for no reason whatsoever. What are you doing here? Or, that kind of thing, right? So be careful with this, in my particular opinion, or at least um, verify their changes. Especially if you're a lead or senior, verify any changes made with this, because that could be very, you know, this could potentially be very detrimental to your code. So, for example, the logistics manager might decide to set the order threshold for expedited shipping of customer orders to $500 in the first release of an application. As business conditions change to match a competitor, the logistics manager might want to lower the threshold to $400. Rather than submitting a request for the developer to update the application or release a patch to apply it to the production system, the process owner can immediately update the threshold in production through delegation. I mean, that sounds fine. Okay? That to me sounds perfectly fine. But again, be careful you know, how much control they have. So when you delegate a decision table, use the delegation options section of the results tab to control the configuration options that are available to the process owner. For example, you can allow the process owner to add columns to the table while preventing the process owner from adding rows. Okay. Which is good. You want to make sure that you limit what they can and can't do to the decision table. So, and what is going on with stream elements here? Let me see. Stream elements. Bot is resetting. Um, Hold on a second. I want to. Stream Elements has been kind of. Um, say. Mhm. Sorry about this. I'm getting very. I keep on getting distracted by Discord or the Stream Elements bot. It keeps on popping up. So you know, personally, I'd rather have actual chatters in there than the stream bot popping up all the time. But the fact that it keeps on popping up kind of gives me um, that I'm having some difficulty with um, um, okay, can I not find a way to submit like a ticket or something like that to you guys? Troubleshooting ticket. Um, Maybe let me do it this way. Reporting an issue. Contact form. There we go. Uh, um, I'm currently live on YouTube, and the stream elements bot keeps spamming the chat saying that it is running. I've seen the message 6 times now in less than an hour. Uh, Time stamps being 2:15, 2:24, 2:28, 2:30, 2:36, and 2:40 at this time. Not sure what is going on. Not seeing any problems with internet or YouTube connections. So maybe an issue with the bot itself. Please advise. Thank you. All right. Send them a contact form about it. Okay, apparently they had a issue with chatbot before back in August 31st, but um, okay, well, not much I can really do about that. Okay. Uh, sorry, sorry I got distracted about that. Hopefully, well, let's continue on because I don't have that much more time left here. Options for returning result. Decision tables that are used to calculate a property value return a single result based on the decision logic. In DevStudio, you can configure a decision table to return all successful results or set the value of additional properties. Evaluation of all rows. To return all successful results from a decision table, you select the Evaluate All Rows checkbox in the Results tab of the decision table rule form. When you enable the Evaluate All Rows option, all rows of the table are checked, and the bot just popped up again, 245. God damn it. When the condition is met on a row, the defined action and return calculation for the row is performed. Clear this checkbox to stop processing after the system finds the first row that evaluates that row as true. For example, an expense that exceeds $500 requires approval by a manager, while the expense exceeding $5,000 additionally requires approval by a director. If a case requires multiple levels of approval, you can use a decision table to create an authority matrix that identifies the required approvals. The decision table contains a row for each possible approver. You select the Evaluate All Rows checkbox to process each row in the table. If the conditions in the row are met, the corresponding approver is added to the authority matrix. When you set the Evaluate All Rows option to true, the allowed to return values setting is disabled. Okay. Use the options in this section to define the possible values that the decision table can return. If you need to add any entries to the allowed results, you can configure them by expanding the additional allowed results section. You can also specify a list of preset properties to calculate before running the decision table. Direct flow processing. The sequence of steps that are required for a case sometimes changes based on the details of the case itself. You automate decision making during the process to adjust the sequence of steps by using a decision table. For example, you can use decision tables in a process to determine the next step in a flow or to route an assignment. Automated next steps. You can determine the outcome of the process flow by using a decision shape to return an outcome based on several testable conditions. Adding a decision shape to the flow makes business processes flexible and responsive by providing conditional paths that a case can follow to reach a resolution. In Dev Studio, you add a decision shape to a flow by clicking Flow Shapes and then selecting Decision. When you specify a decision table for a decision shape, Pega Platform automatically adds a connector for each decision result. To learn more about adding decisions, see Adding Decision Processes. So here's the decision shape, by the way. Personally, I think that they probably should move that up here, but whatever. Um, Assignment routing. You determine the appropriate operator or work queue for an assignment by selecting a decision table router. For example, you can assign a portfolio consultant to an appropriate branch office based on the address of the requester. The router uses the decision table logic to determine the appropriate operator or work queue for the assignment. When you route an assignment to a work queue, the assign work basket class rule is updated in Dev Studio. So remember that one. In the following image, click the plus icons, blah, blah, blah. So here, flow processing premium dining option. Passengers who qualify for a premium dining option advance to a step where they can select premium meals and drinks. Passengers who do not qualify for the option skip this step. The qualification requirements vary by the rewards level of the passenger. So okay, that's about as much as there. So if silver, then um, um, then I guess passengers who qualify for a premium dining option advance to a step where they can select premium drinks and meals and drinks. Passengers who do not qualify for the option skip the step. Of qualification requirements vary by the rewards level of the passenger. Okay, so um, I'd figure that um, I mean, you can pretty much kind of skip all this process here by just having the standard at the very top there. Like if standard, um, return standard. Um, uh, if you know, if silver is true and true, then they can go to premium. Else, if I don't know, or if standard, go to standard. If else if silver true true, then they go to premium. Else if gold true, then they go to premium. Otherwise, premium. I mean, they can pretty much kind of skip like 2 rows there. So I don't know. I feel like that might be a little off there. So they probably didn't need all these additional rows. Um, and obviously you need to make sure that your rewards level is, set to those particular factors. You don't necessarily want someone coming in and saying, "Hey, here's a new reward. Here's a new rewards level." Um, you know, or I'm gonna make my own rewards level or something like that. If that was to happen, then I guess um, that's probably a good way of kind of combating that. But I mean, they could just say, premium or premium elite in the same condition there, but I don't know. Whatever. Um, I feel like they probably could optimize that if else statement a little bit better. Um, so standard is, reviewing dining selections and premium collect meal preferences. So routing meal selections. Assignment to review the meal selections by the passenger is routed to the work queue based on decision logic that the passenger requests either kosher or halal meal. The assignment is routed to dedicated work queue while other meal requests are routed to standard work queue. Okay, interesting. And there you go. Okay, so we're near the very end here, so we're going to finish this off. Check your knowledge with the following interaction. Which two requirements are satisfied by using a decision table? Choose two. So orders over $50 ship free by using a standard ground service, whereas orders over $500 ship by using an expedited shipping service. I mean, you could definitely use a decision table for that, or at least I feel like it. If a customer order includes an item type of radio, an item type of antenna is suggested, and the additional purchases view. Other item types do not receive additional views. I don't know if that's really needed for that, so I don't think. Um, an agent is shown additional shipping fields for gold status customers. Um, mm, I don't know if you really need to do a decision table for that one either. An online marketplace needs to determine if a user meets bronze, silver, or gold status by evaluating their total purchase amount and their number of sold items over the last year. Um, I would see that as a possibility. So there we go. Yeah, decision table is used to determine if the spending threshold is met to qualify for the different levels of shipping options, and a decision table is used to set the value of property, in this example, user status, based on conditional logic. If a user reached the bronze, silver, or gold spending and sales thresholds, the customer status field returns the appropriate status. So, um, oh, I can't seem to reset this. Here, hold on. Let me refresh and so let's see, what they say about the wrong answers, right? So that one is a wrong answer and that one's a wrong answer, right? So we check those answers. So, this is what they say when it comes to the wrong answers. A win rule is used to determine that the customer's order includes an item type of radio and then displays the additional purchases view. So you don't necessarily need to use a full decision table when, just a win rule will do. So this requirement is met when a win rule is to set the visibility of shipping fields if the customer status property is set to gold. So again, um, you know, you can just kind of get by with using a win rule on those. So there you go. That is, the first. Well, I mean, they've already kind of talked about decision tables a little bit already, but they kind of went a little bit more in depth with the Dev Studio. Or at least I think they did. Hmm. Makes me wonder if I should really, maybe I should check between what they have in here in decision tables in Dev Studio with what they have in like the previous missions. Maybe I should kind of take um, a side-by-side model of that. Okay, decision tables is not in the low code app builder. So low code app builder extended maybe. Yeah, so here's the decision tables. Okay. Sorry, I got a message from my roommate. Okay. Um, let's see. I mean, they did get into decision tables here. Yeah, I mean, I guess, obviously the differences are still kind of there, so I guess it still works. All right. Well, that's where we're going to go ahead and end our bit on Pega Academy for today there, folks. I want to thank you all for joining me on this. Obviously, we weren't able to get to the other parts of the decision tables and trees section. Tomorrow will be the decision trees, which is another 10 minutes, so that's going to be another pretty lengthy video. Um, so, um, so yeah, we still got, we're going to be going through those tomorrow, so look forward to that. Um, we have, um, um, we have, let's see, decision tables and trees module. Um, two challenges after that. You know what? Actually, there's too many. I was like, maybe I'll check out, the following topics and, see how far we've come. And well, no, that's eh, there's quite a bit there. Oh my gosh, there's one called testing your application, 6 topics, 1 hour and 5 minutes. Yikes. Um, 3 15-minute topics in that one. So we got our work cut out for us. Getting to the end there, so be prepared for that there, folks. They estimate 19 hours and 45 minutes remaining, according to this, and well, uh, you know, like I said, if you're a speed reader and you have awesome comprehension on that speed reading, then you're going to be fantastic. Otherwise, well, add more time. um, but that's going to be it for today's uh, Pega video. I want to thank you all for joining me um, on this journey that I'm making for the certification. Let me know if you are also having that same journey there, folks. Um, you know, what certification are you going for? Again, feel free to post any kind of questions that you might have if you're kind of confused about a particular topic. If there's something that I might have said, um, or something that I might have repeated on that particular topic, then feel free to ask. If you're not quite sure, like what it is like addressing, or what it's kind of asking for. So, because sometimes you might not fully understand what they might be saying. Okay, and that's perfectly fine. That's perfectly reasonable. Okay, so don't give up on that. Okay, don't feel like you're alone on this. Okay, so if you have those questions, feel free to ask them. Okay, you know, um, you know, it's kind of the reason why I'm doing this right now. Okay, um, hoping that I can get some support from the community in some fashion through these videos. Okay, so if I'm doing it, then you can maybe get some valuable, helpful information out of these videos, or from the community itself. Um, so, um, but if you've gotten to the end of the video, then I would appreciate any kind of support that you can and that you can give. Whether it's like, subscribe, all that kind of jazz for the algorithm would be fantastic. Um, check out the description for you know, social media links, such as Discord, links that, help me out personally, such as Patreon and or Throne. Um, I have a stream team available for any streamers, or, non-streamers. We're basically a team that, you know, is looking for anybody that wants to participate and just helping everybody kind of grow. Okay. Um, the application link is down below, and um, there is a document link there that will go to a Google document that will explain what the team is all about, what the idea behind it, the mission statement, so on and so forth. I put a lot of work into that. Matter of fact, I even did a full-on um, playlist of working out the team. So, I mean, if you want to see what my mentality was for creating Team Robot, then go ahead and check that out if you want. But yeah, that's pretty much it for the most part. So, hey there, Castle. How you doing there? Welcome to the stream. How's your day been? But yeah, that's gonna be it. Feel free to check out the other playlists in my YouTube channel if you're interested in that. Not too much in terms of programming. Did a little bit of stint with Unity for a time. Not anymore, but um, got those videos there if you're just kind of interested in just programming, or my attempts at programming. um, and of course all the gaming playlists if you're interested in any of that. So. But that's it. That's where we're going to go ahead and end it for tonight. So thank you very much for watching. I appreciate it. We'll catch you next time. Until then, take care. Have a good night. Stay healthy, stay safe. And I'll catch you strangers next time.